Could all be here. Today we're going to begin with our usual centering in, and I'll follow that with a brief introduction to the Himalayan yoga tradition. It's the tradition we've been practicing together, and after that we'll do our joints and glands and our level 1 asanas and some breath work, and finish with a shavasana and a nice guided systematic relaxation before we take our final sitting pose for the class. So this is a 90-minute class, and let's begin. So please take your seat and sit as tall as possible with your head, neck, and trunk as straight as possible without exceeding your capacity. Allow your eyes to close. Become aware of the space that your body and your mind occupy. Breathe naturally, continuously, letting the breath flow smoothly without jerks or pauses, stops or starts. Breathe as though the entire body is breathing, every cell in the body is breathing. And invite the mind to withdraw from all other spaces. Simply bring your awareness to the flow of the breath. Relax the top of your head. Relax your forehead and your eyes, your nose bridge, and the muscles of your face. Relax the tongue. Unhinge the jaw slightly, relaxing the jaw and relaxing the vocal centers. Relax the neck muscles. Relax the tops of the shoulders and the shoulder joints. Relax the arms from the shoulder joints down to the tips of the fingers. And relax the tips of the fingers. Relax the arms from the tips of the fingers to the shoulder joints. Relax the heart center and the soft tissues around the heart. Relax the navel region. Relax the abdominal region. And relax the sacrum, the pelvis, and the hip joints. And relax the legs from the hip joints down to the tips of the toes. Relax the tips of the toes and the legs from the tips of the toes up to the hip joints. Relax the sacrum, floor of the pelvis and the hip joints, the pelvis. Relax the abdominal region and the lower back. Relax the navel region. Relax the heart center. Relax the arms from the tips of the fingers up to the shoulders. Relax the tops of the shoulders and the shoulder joints. Relax the muscles of the neck. Relax the jaw and the vocal centers. Relax the tongue and the muscles of the cheeks, the nose, the eyes. Relax the eyebrows, the forehead, and the top of the head. Continue to breathe smoothly, gently. Letting the breath flow from the navel region to the base of the nostrils. And from the base of the nostrils to the navel region. One breath following the next. Following the next without stops or starts. The mind and the breath flowing together as one stream from the navel region to the base of the nostrils. And from the nostrils to the navel region. You may let the breath's own mantra arise in your awareness. Inhaling while mentally repeating the syllable so, and exhaling while mentally repeating the syllable hum. So on the inhalation, followed without pause, without break, by hum on the exhalation. And continue to observe the flow of the breath with the breath's mantra. Breathing naturally, breathing smoothly without jerks or pauses. And keeping this awareness and this calmness, gently bring the awareness to the palms of the hands and the arms. And prepare to smoothly and gently bring the palms to cover the eyes without pressing on the eye sockets. And keeping the breath flowing smoothly, allow the eyes to softly open and gaze in the palms as you lower the palms to your lap. And continue with your breath awareness, letting the breath flow smoothly without stops or starts. As I tell you a little about the Himalayan yoga tradition, this tradition is a tradition of love, an expression of love between teacher and student, student and student, student and teacher, and the entire family of students and teachers and their kin, extending, radiating out into the household, into the school, into the community, into the environment, into the neighborhood, and out into the greater world. The Himalayan yoga tradition is an ancient tradition with roots in antiquity, with origins somewhere in the cave monasteries of the Himalayan mountains near Tibet, where the ancients became interested in existence, in questioning the nature of life and awareness, and seeking answers. They established places of retreat, the caves, where they might make inward journeys, make inward experiments, systematically noting the nature of their experiences, and sorting and sifting through these experiences, allowing themselves to make determinations about what was real and what was only illusory or fantastical. And the practices they gradually cultivated and developed and taught to one another and taught to those close disciples is come down to us as what we know today as yoga, although much of what we see in the world around us is only a small fraction of the science of yoga as practiced in the Himalayan yoga tradition. The tradition is, first and foremost, a meditative tradition, and this means that any practices and there are many practices, eventually lead the practitioner, lead the student to a point where they are able to begin learning about meditation. Always under the guidance of a teacher, a preceptor. The tradition is an initiatory tradition. The tradition is an oral tradition. And what does this mean? An initiatory and an oral tradition. Simply that a student must practice a given set of exercises, contemplations, perhaps physical movements, perhaps physical, mental movements, or more subtly, mental movements, energetic movements, even more subtly. The student must practice these exercises until they gain an understanding and adeptness with a particular practice. And usually the student knows when they have gained proficiency. And this is a sign that they have become initiated. And to keep them from deluding themselves with thoughts of grandeur and great capability, the teacher is always there to observe and to gently instruct the student and to either confirm the student's sense of achievement or to guide and make small corrections, make small guidances. And this is always done orally or in more subtle practices by sitting close to the teacher. And so the Himalayan yoga tradition really is the oldest tradition of yoga. If you look at all the other traditions that we see around us, if you look hard enough and you trace their roots, you'll find that they are merely tributaries or rivulets coming out of the main channel of the Himalayan yoga tradition. So it's quite a venerable tradition, and we're lucky to be able to practice this tradition. It's a timeless tradition. It seems to have begun in antiquity, and yet every part of it is as relevant today as it was millennia of years ago. So there's great comfort in learning some of the practices, which we will now do by arranging ourselves to begin our Joints and Glands series. But before we do that, I'd like to invite anybody, any of you out there, to consider if you've been having any questions. Now's the time you can ask me, or perhaps ask me after class. Okay, well, it looks like nobody wants to ask any questions, so I think we'll start with the joints and glands. So let's begin joints and glands by doing some facial massage. And so the first thing we'll do is to take the base of our thumbs here and bring them against our center of our forehead, closing our eyes gently and making a pass, smoothing out the wrinkles over the eyebrow ridge to the temples and making a circle at the temples, and then coming back to the middle And as you make these motions and you come to this awareness, let the breath flow smoothly and continuously without stops or starts. And bring the thumbs, base of the thumbs, yet a little higher on the forehead, perhaps where the hairline is, and draw the hands across the forehead, the thumbs just to the temples, breathing continuously. And when you have completed 3 passes, bring the pads of the thumbs, pads of the fingers, and place them on the eyebrow ridge, just above the nose, and gently knead the bone in the sinus region and work your way out, making little impressions against the skull, and make a circle at the temples, and continue 3 more times.